Hi, welcome back all my crafty friends. Right, so we are back to finish the inside back cover. We are a bit of a way off of actually finishing, but there's a few more tags and things I would like to make to go into the journal, but we need to do this back cover. So let's get started, shall we? Now, the tear off notebook. Here it is. It's done. It worked. It's completed. Okay, so it does work. So thank you very much to Tinny for her fantastic idea. Right, so we need to cover this. We need to put paper on our back piece. Right, so what we need to do is I've cut down a piece of paper that is going to fit in the back. Okay, so this will go on here like so. Okay, but then we need to cut a strip across the top there so we can slide our notepad in there so it will sit on the top like so. Okay, so once you cut your piece of paper out, obviously I've left that tiny little piece of black border all around the edges. Okay, then what I do then is place this in roughly where the centre of this is. Okay, I like to have mine kind of central, and then just getting a pencil, you just want to put a dot at the top of each corner of your paper pad where that's going to go. Okay, and then taking a ruler, where you place those marks, you want to mark 1/8 of an inch either side of those marks. Okay, and that is where you're going to be cutting to. Now please be very careful doing this because you don't want to rip the paper, etc. Okay, so I'm using my metal ruler because it has rubber grips across the back of it, and I know I can hold it still and run a knife across it. Okay, so I'm just going to use my old trusty craft knife. Okay, and then very carefully you need to go from where you placed those dots. Okay, so starting at that end, I'm going to run my knife very carefully, making sure it cuts through the paper and you don't stray off your ruler. Okay, to that mark there, and I'm just going to do that again just to make sure it has actually gone through the paper like so. Okay, you can do that a few times if you're not sure. Okay, so then you should have an opening like that you can slip your paper pad into. Now, just to make sure before we cover all this, I'm just going to get the card on the back. Okay, and I'm just going to find that slit. I can actually find it. Just make sure that that does actually slide all the way into there, and that will sit nicely in the centre of my piece of paper. Okay, like so. So that will slot into there, and that will be hanging on there, and you'll have the card at the back of the paper like so. Okay, so now knowing that that fits on there, take that out carefully. You will need to stick this into there. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do next. Now obviously what you need to do, you can line up your pad on the back of your paper if you think it makes it easier. Okay, and just draw a line around your pad so you know roughly where you need to glue. Okay, so this piece here where your card is going to slip in and out, do not glue that down. Okay, do not put any glue on that piece whatsoever. You will be needing to glue all around these edges and across this top edge, but leaving this piece in the middle. Okay, so I'll move my little notepad to one side. I'm actually quite excited, quite thrilled actually how well that has come out. I didn't think it was going to be that good, but it does work, so thanks to Tinny. Right, okay, so we need to glue this. If I can get my glue to come out. And I'm going to glue right around the edges. Like so. Then I'm going to take the glue across that top edge where we made that cut. Okay. And then not going too close to the line, but I want to make sure there's enough glue on there. I'm just going to make a little squiggle around each edge. Okay. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. Like that. Okay, so you've got plenty of room around the edges, so that, or should I say in the middle. Make sure it's up the right way. And then you will need to stick this into your back cover. Okay, like so. Okay, and then taking my little bone folder thingy, just going to get that pushed down around the edges, make sure that's stuck in really, really well, because obviously you're going to be taking the paper pad in and out of there, so you want to make sure that's stuck down well. Take off any excess glue around your edges. Okay, so that will be stuck in there like that, and you'll have your little piece card opening at the top here to be able to slide your notepad in and out of. Okay, right, so what I want to do now is cover this. Okay, I'm just going to put a cover over it. Now, because this is 5 inches long, you will need to cut a piece that is exactly the same width. Okay, so it's 2 7/8. Okay, but because it's 5, you want a piece that's going to fold round over the back to hold it all together. You will need to make it 6 1/2. Okay, that's just my preference. You don't have to do it that long, but that allows a piece to come across the top and to tuck around the back. Okay, so I have already cut a piece that is 6 1/2 by 2 7/8. I'm just going to get my marker and just run around the edges of this very quickly, just to get rid of those horrible white edges, and to make it stand out, just that little piece from your backing paper, like so. Okay, and what you need to do is line up the bottom of that as best as you can. Okay, Then you'll need to pick it up as best as you can, turning it over, okay, and just making sure that it's all lined up around there. Okay, now I like to turn mine sideways like that so I can work with it. Now I'm just going to make sure that that is on there where I want it to be, and it's going to be on the edges like so. The last thing you want to do is cover it and have it not enough hanging over each side. This can be a little bit fiddly, I know, but you know, what a way to create a lovely pad. Okay, I'm taking my bone folder thingy. I'm just going to score along that edge there on the top. Okay, so just push it along that top edge of your pad there where you've glued. Okay, score it, and then take your bone folder underneath and just push it up like that, so you know it's going to be exact on there. Okay, then I'm going to take some glue. I hope you can see this well. I can't really move it to be able to show you. I'm going to place glue right along there. Now this will help hold it as well, because obviously you've got glue on that edge anyway. Okay, and then taking my bone folder again, I'm just going to run it back and forth across there. Okay, until I'm happy with that and I think it's stuck. Wipe the excess glue off those edges. Okay, and then just before that dries, just bend that piece backwards there, and then I just like to take my glue, run it around the edges of that paper. Okay, a little squiggle across the top, make sure it's all covered, and then because that's stuck on there nicely, just give it another push against the back there. Okay, then you're just going to pull it straight over the back and lay it down on the top like so. Okay, give it a nice push, give it a good push down like so. Take your baby wipe, clean up any glue spillages that you might have. Okay, and there you have your pad. Okay, that's nicely covered, and it goes across the top nicely, and it's nice and flush across there because you use your bone folder to flatten it against the glue, which will give it extra sturdiness for your pages as well once that's dry, and the paper comes down across the back. Okay, so it's just extra to hold it on. I like doing it about that length because I like that to work with. You don't have to do it that long. You could, you know, you could do it at 1 inch, but then sometimes you might find it hard to play with when you're covering. But that's just my preference. I like to do it like that. Okay, so we now know that we've got our paper in here. Okay, we've got our pad that is going to go on the top like so. Okay, what I've done, I'm just going to put this to one side for a second and let it dry off a little bit. So what I've done is I want to actually pretty this up a little bit, so I cut out some of the pieces, little stamp tag bits. Okay, and I'm going to use these on here just to pretty up around the back. So what I'm going to do is find where you put your dots on your pad paper. You know where that's going to come there. Okay, That's going to come roughly across there, and then just taking my pencil, I'll just mark very gently around the edges of my pad like that. Okay, if you feel better so you know exactly where it comes to, then obviously you can open this out, you can stick that back in there. Stick that back in there like so. Okay, and you can lay that down there like that, and then you can mark around where you want it to be. Okay, but I'm going to, oh, why is that stuck on there? Okay, it's because of the glue around the back. Right, okay, so we'll leave that alone, just let that finish off drying properly. Okay, so I've got line around the bottom here where I want to be. Now, so I've cut a long one there, and again just taking the marker and go around the edges of these so they actually stand up on the page. I've done those ones already, so okay. And then it's just a matter of kind of like piecing bits together where you want it, like so. So I'm going to stick these on. This is just once the notepad's sort of in place, it's just pretties it up a little bit and makes it a little bit more decorative. I'm sticking these straight down, I'm not putting no sort of score tape or anything underneath there. Stick that one straight on the edge there, like so. A bit of glue on my ribbon. Next one. Place that there like so. Do that one at an angle like that, and I'll place this little one in the corner. Like so. Make sure they're up the right way, obviously. Okay, so that's just stuck down on there, like so. Okay, so then when you've got your pad and it's placed in on the top, obviously you'll have them in the background to. Okay, so what I've also done, just for an extra bit of sturdiness to make sure that this pad doesn't move and it's not going to slip anywhere, I fussy cut round 2 bottles that was on the bottom of a piece of paper, them 2, cut them out separately, left the flowers on the edges, backed them onto some black, okay, and then placed them together. Now what I'm going to do, if I can show you this, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. There we go. Make it a little bit blurry. Right, so what we're going to do is this is going to be on here, okay, roughly about there. And then what I wanted to do is place these on here, but using some sticky foam, and all that does is that just holds that in place, make sure that it doesn't kind of slip about. Okay, now the best way to do this is kind of decide where you want it. Okay, so if you line that all up on your paper where you want it, and then just take these and turn them over to the other side, so you know it's going to be exactly the same width both sides. Okay, now I personally find this the best way to do it. Okay, and then just mark at the top on the back there where your pad's gonna come down, and then mark across the bottom there where your pad's gonna come across the bottom, and then join up the two lines. You know, you can either lay it on your mat and draw the lines in, etc. Okay, so you should have your lines on the back like so. Okay, so then you know this inside piece, do not put any foam tape on, because that's the piece that's going to go against your pad. So you want to put it along the edge there and along the bottom edge there. Okay, so what we need to decide is how thick we actually need this. And the best way, I think, of doing this is to actually take your pad. Now I'm going to place mine back in there where I want it. That's quite a nice tight fit in there as well. Okay, so mine's going to go there like that. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start cutting pieces of foam tape and placing it around the edge. So I don't want to use my good little scissors for this because it's going to get all sticky. Okay, I'm just cutting some thin strips. I'm going to start placing these just the other side. You may have to cut these pieces down a bit, you know, they may be not the right shape for how you want it, etc., or it might slightly overlap in one place to another. I'll put that in there. Use that little piece in there. This is time consuming, it is fiddly, but I like to do this because it just adds that bit of extra detail to your back, really. Now this piece I think is going to be no, that comes just inside there. That's okay. Now, right, okay, so what we need to decide is if that is going to fit there. Okay, so we need another layer on top of there. So best thing to do is to take off the backing of this foam tape that you've already stuck down. Okay, and then cut some more pieces and stick it down on the top so you've doubled the thickness. Obviously making sure that you're following along that line. turn that round so I know where it is and I can see what I'm doing. Another thin strip. I'll cut that end off like I did on that side. Place that on top of there and take that little piece off and stick that on top of there. Okay, and then you can try again. Just line it up again with the edge of your pad. You think to yourself, okay, is that going to be enough? No, I need another layer. Okay, so this can end up quite thick. Well, it might help if I take the backing off of them first. But it does add as a good like stopper for your pad once it's slid in, and also keeps that front page down on your pad so it all looks pretty. Turn that round again, make sure it's stuck in the right place. Cut that strip again and cut that end off, like so. And that can go on there, and that bit will go on top of there. Okay, so just keep doing that, and when you're happy with it actually fitting into place, like so, and I know that is going to be right on there. Okay, when you're happy with that, then you can take off the backing. As I said, just be patient with this, you know, it is a bit tricky. You don't even have to do this, you can leave the pad exactly how it is if you wish to. It's not going to go anywhere, it's in that back piece of paper, but I just like to do this because that's how I like it, I suppose. So make sure that's flattened down, okay. Your pad is exactly where you want it, and then before you actually stick the whole thing down, go up to the edge of your pad, just carefully make sure it's in place, okay, and then just stick them down like so. Okay, so then you have that. Okay, your pad is in there. Okay, it's supported by these at the bottom, it's not going to go anywhere. Okay, you can still slide that in and out like so. Okay, once that's slid in there, okay, then it's just supported at the bottom by them. Okay, so this top, your pages don't all flap around everywhere. Okay, so what we need to do next is we want to decorate the front of your pad. That is entirely up to you. I think I'm going to leave mine as is. I like it like that. So the next thing we need to do is a pencil. You know, whoever you're giving this to might like to have a pencil in the back of their pad so they can carry it around. They've got their pen, pencil in the back. So I just buy a packet of pencils from the works. They're only £1. Okay, I have a rubber on the end, and I like to use these for my journals. Now you place that there where you want it. Okay, you want a little gap at the top and you're going to want a little gap at the bottom, but obviously you can see this is way too long, so you just take a pencil, okay, and just mark on the pencil where you think you're going to want the length. I do not sharpen my pencils when they go into these pads, because obviously, like, sliding it in and out and you're going to mark the paper, etc. The person who you're giving it to, it's down to them to mark it. So I've put my mark on the end of my pencil right there. Okay, then what I like to do, sorry, let's just get rid of some of this rubbish out of the way. What I like to do, not using my little craft knife, if you have a Stanley blade, anything like that, I have a large craft knife in here. This is just a little pack that I picked up from the pound shop. You know, these sit in here. They have several different blades in there that you can use, and there's 3 types of knives in there. So I'll just take my chunky one. Okay, I know it's got a decent blade on it, and then all I'm going to do is cut into this pencil. Now if you think that you can cut right the way through that in one go, or you have a decent Stanley that will do that, then do it. If not, just cut into there, okay, roll it round and keep pushing your knife down. Okay, slide it across, turn it round, push it down, slide it across, nope, turn your knife round and push it down. Okay, then you will eventually come round to the back from where you started. Okay, so I'll just go all the way round like so. Keep following your mark, and it will eventually cut through and snap off. Okay, just like so. Okay, so you have a nice finish on the end. If you don't like, you know, a little rugged piece of wood on the ends there, just get a bit of sandpaper. And you can smooth out the edges like so. Okay, so you have a pencil that is going to fit into the back of your journal. Okay, now do I want to leave it that colour? I don't know, do I? Maybe not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to colour mine. How you want to colour yours is entirely up to you. But when you buy these pencils, they have like a smooth coating over them, like they've been dipped in varnish or sprayed with a lacquer. It's not very thick, it's easy to come off. So just get a very smooth, fine piece of sandpaper. I don't even know what grade this is, an F2. Okay, and then all I'm going to do, very gently, okay, just give your pencil a rub over and turn it around the other way, might be a bit easier. Just give your pencil a sanding. You don't want to do it too much because you don't want to lose the shape of your pencil, obviously. Unless you want to completely round it off, then that is entirely up to you. You find it easier to lay it on the bench like so. just give that a sand. Doesn't take a lot to do this. It's only a very fine coat of lacquer that's over the top of these pencils. Obviously it's just fiddly because you're trying to do something that's small and wants to keep turning away from you. Okay, just make sure all that shiny lacquer has come off. I'm just going to give me points a quick rub over. Make sure all that lacquer's off. On that edge there. Right, okay. I'll get that mess out of the way. A bit of dust off your pencil. Okay, just use your baby wipe and just give it a wipe over, like so. Okay, so you have pencil and like the shininess has come off of it. I'm going to move my camera back out, guys, because looking at it on here it's all blurry and I don't really like it, so I'll give it a quick sand over. Okay, now this is just about playing, you know, it's not, there's no science in it, so I'm just going to quickly grab this because it's a mess and I've been painting on it. Okay, I'm just going to grab my gesso. Now I'm not going to use a paintbrush. Okay, I'm going to dip the end of my finger into it and I'm just going to keep rubbing that around there. Okay, it dries very, very quickly. The wood kind of soaks it up because you've taken that varnish off the top of it, so the wood will soak it up nicely. Okay, once you've done that top edge, just get your baby wipe, find a damp piece of your baby wipe and just rub it round the silver bit on the top there where you've got your rubber. Okay, so there's no paint on that. See, that bit's dry already. Okay, so then just go over the rest of the pencil. Smooth it all out nicely with your fingers. Just keep going around it until you're satisfied with the colour and how much paint you want on there. But I thought a white one would probably look better with, and you can do this with different colours as well. You can use your acrylic paints to do this. Again, it will suck it up very, very easily, so you know, you don't have to worry about getting a paintbrush and rolling it round and do that bit and do that bit. And okay, so what was that pencil is now a white pencil. Okay, so it's as easy as that, guys. As I said, if you want to use a colour or you want to clean up the end, you've got a bit too much paint around there, you know, or just wipe it off the end there, or whatever you like, guys. But I wanted mine white because it goes with the paper. And I think that that colour will look a lot better than that one. Right, so what we need to do is to be able to stick this in. So we will need 2 tiny little strips of paper. Now I think we're going to go with, let's have a look. If I can cut that out, I'm just going to cut this pink tag stamp thing out here for a moment. Okay. Right, so what we need to do is, I can get that nicely across there. We're just going to use 1/2 inch wide, or do I want 1 inch wide? I'm not going to get 2 inches out of that, am I? So if I go to 1.5 inches, okay, yeah, I'm going to do it 3/4 of an inch, and that will be plenty. You just want 2 strips of paper. Roughly about the same length. Cut these out quickly. Don't have to be a specific length because I'll probably end up cutting a bit of this off anyway. Okay, if you want to mark down the edges of them with your black, it's entirely up to you. The only reason I'm not doing it is because I don't know if once the glue is on there and you kind of need to smear it out with your fingers, whether the black is going to actually smear across the page. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take my piece of paper, I'm going to place it onto my pencil, and then I'm going to roll it round and tuck it in like so. Okay, and when you get to your edge there, you need to roll it round so you cover about half the pencil again. Okay, so you know it's going to be stuck down well, and then just take your scissors, snip it off where you think. Okay, then this is where it can get a bit tricky. You're going to need your glue. Okay, and you're going to need to start gluing across that edge there. Okay, then roll that round. Now you can loosen this up a bit, guys, just to make sure you know your pencil turns in there and it can slide in and out quite easily. Okay, and then just glue the rest of that piece there, and then run it round, making sure it fits on there. And then, as I said, you will get a little bit of glue overspill off the end of your piece of paper there, but just smooth that out across that seam. Okay, so you've got your piece of paper, okay, that's going to slide up and down, okay, and then you need to do the same for your second piece. Okay, so I'm going to cut a piece off of there because I know that's going to be too long anyway, and then I'm just going to do the same at this end. Okay, so I'm going to roll that round. Just hold it there, and then just roll it around like so. Okay, so you're happy with where it is, and then unroll it again, and then where the end piece of your paper is, place some glue. Okay, and then roll that back up. Try to make sure that you keep the edges of your paper nice and neat. Okay, and then with your edge, obviously you don't want that much paper, so I'm just going to cut that off there, and I'm just going to glue that like so, and then keep wrapping that round there, and then just using my finger, take that, squidge the glue out the end, okay, then rub the excess glue across that join on there like so. It just helps to hold it down to make sure it's not going anywhere, okay, and just move your piece of paper about so you know it's going to slide up and down on your pencil. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is just try to make sure that you've got your two seams on the same edge of your pencil. Your pencil is going to help to stick this down, okay, and then what you want to do, find out, pull your journal back in. Now this is going to be stuck down to this here, obviously not your whole pencil, just your two pieces of paper. So you want to find out roughly where you want them to be, okay, line them up on your journal, put them roughly in the same place, okay, that needs to go around now. And then what you're going to do is just place glue on that edge of both pieces, okay, and then turn it round. It might be easier to lay it down that way so you can actually see where you've put your glue. Line it up with the top and the bottom of your journal, so you've got roughly the same gap, top and bottom, okay, and just making sure that that looks straight. Then you're just going to use your pencil to push them pieces down, okay, and then just hold it for a few seconds to make sure that sticks. Sorry, that is my my phone vibrating on the table next to me. It's not an important call, so I will leave it for a second. Make sure that's pushed down nice and tightly on there, okay, and you may want to leave it to one side for a second, just let it dry off. Clean the top of my glue off, put the lid back on that, okay, and then you're going to have your two pieces in there, okay, and your pencil is going to be able to slide in and out of there quite easily, okay, and it just holds your pencil in place. So you will have that. So there is a little notepad in the back with a pencil, okay, and it can be taken out and it can be replaced, so you can use it over and over again, okay. And then this will all close up nicely like so, okay, and you'll have your ribbon fastened around it, of course. But what a lovely present to give to somebody, or what a lovely present to make for yourself even. Totally and utterly beautiful. Look at all that work. And it hasn't really taken that long if you think about it, for the amount that's actually in here. It hasn't really taken that long at all. So anyway, if you have any questions, guys, about the back page or anything else, just leave your comments down below. I will do my best to answer everybody's questions. I still haven't made my tags for the previous page, so I'm going to go away. I'm going to make my tag for here, and I'm going to stick my little pictures on my paper, and then I will come back with a final video and to show you guys what it looks like when it's all completed. So have fun, guys. Mwah! Thanks for joining me on this journey, and I hope you enjoy. Have fun creating. Bye for now.